Hello everyone, very good morning. Welcome to our morning class. Happens to be our fifth week. So today I'm teaching on Friday. Then tomorrow also there's a class. Generally, my classes happen from Tuesday to Friday. This week it is happening from Tuesday to Saturday. Mostly, and I'm sure 99% sure that they'll be taking place from Monday to Friday on YouTube Just Cat channel, 9 a.m. and at 2 p.m. And then Sunday we'll be having not this Sunday, but from next Sunday, like earlier, we have classes on 5 p.m. on the Unacademy app. It's the special live class, free class. And I'm also planning for a Wednesday class next week at 5 p.m. So two special classes on app Wednesday and Sunday, and then Monday to Friday 9 a.m. and at 2 p.m. So just stay tuned in and try and utilize all these resources at the same time. Try and solve as many comprehension questions, as many verbal ability, as many parajumbles questions. Also analyze the questions, solve few questions, but also analyze the mistakes properly, where you're going wrong, what is a mistake, and what amendments you can make in a study pattern, in what you are studying and how you're studying. It should reflect the lessons which you've learned from those mistakes. That is all again very important. So yeah, this is the channel link, Unacademy Just Cat on the Telegram. So if you will type this Unacademy Just Cat or Just Cat on the uh, Telegram link, you will find these this very group, and you can join here. So my name is Anupam. I have trained more than 3,000 students. It's 3,000, 3,100 students in CAT. I have more than 35 hours of training, 3,100 hours plus of training, and then trained more than 3,500 is students for CAT. And then from I have developed a lot of verbal ability questions for various clients such as GMAC, Delhi Police, and others. So I don't not only have experience from a faculty standpoint. I can tell you things how a content developer thinks like, because the questions which which you make are made by people who create content, who write questions, which is a very different work than teaching verbal ability. So I can think from that how they think that way. Um, so to stay in touch, please download Unacademy app, install it, go to plus cat and subscribe. Um, then you will get these these options in front of you. So if you will look at them, you can see that there are EMI options also, no cost EMI options also available for 6, 12 and 24 month. These this on EMI. Also if you look at the pricing, it's very less. It's like 875 per month for 24 months, and 1458 a month for 12 months, which comes to 15,750 and 18,900 for 24 months after you use the code Saxena 10 as a discount. So 17,570 and 18,900 for 12 months and 24 months respectively. Also, like I've said, that there are a lot of free courses, free like I said, special classes I take on Sunday at 5 p.m. This Sunday I'm not taking, next Sunday I'll take, and coming Wednesday also I'll take 5 p.m. So that's a pattern which and so forth. So um, so try and tune in there. So those are free classes on the app for which there is no cost. Okay, they're completely free, and the classes which have happened in this manner earlier, they are recorded. So you can come back and you can visit those classes which are recorded, like your YouTube sessions. Once they are over, they are recorded, right? So in the similar manner, those videos you can also. So that is how it is, and you can look at that. The pricing is most amazing pricing from the any coaching institute standpoint. Also, taking into consideration of the COVID condition pandemic, when government will allow coaching institutions to open and colleges to open, I think this is a good investment which you can do for your career. Let me see if I'm coming all right or not. This is a good investment which you can do for your career. I think this investment is very important if you really want to score a good score and you want to improve your scores. Like I've said that in plus you will get a lot of opportunity for solving questions, lot of opportunity for analysis, and lot of opportunity for your awareness with respect to the weak areas and strong areas. If you know what your weak areas are, if you know what your strong areas are, life becomes automatically easier. It becomes naturally easier. You can work on your weak areas, you can keep your strong areas strong, and weak areas you can improve. So that is how it is. Sorry for this. um, like we discussed that jumbled paragraphs, there are grammar based connections with respect to it, pronoun used for a noun in a different sentence. So the pronoun and noun, sentence containing noun and sentence containing pronoun, they will come together one after the other as a pair. Then there are certain connections based on common ideas, that if two ideas mentioned in two sentences, they are related and they are together. So those ideas should come together if they're talking about the same idea, or same thought. Now this is how we will going to solve the our para. Again, we have in front of us actual cat questions. Let's try and solve these actual cat questions. I have one ZAD question also with you, and like I've said, that this is a revision class. Four sentences labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 given in this question, when properly sequenced, form a coherent paragraph. Each sentence is labeled with a number. Decide on the proper sequence of the order of the sentences, and key in this sequence of four numbers as your. So the thing is, they're saying that again, a parajumble or a jumbled paragraph question. You have to look for the proper sequence or the proper order in the. Okay, so this is again what we known as theta, the type in the answer type question, in which there is no negative marking. But the thing is that these questions can be little difficult to solve at times, but this one is not, that I can surely say. This is one of the easier parajumbles which you get, I can say, than some difficult and some tough ones, difficult ones. It says impartiality and objectivity are fiendishly difficult concepts. Impartiality, impartiality means that when a person is not inclined towards one story, one side of the story or other side of the story, when one is unbiased, okay, one has a balanced stand, one is doesn't bend towards one, say if two people have come to complain to you, or there's a party which is complained and there's a party which on which charges have been levied. So a public officer or a police officer should be impartial, should be unbiased, right? That is impartiality, balanced, true to the facts, and not giving into emotions or their own biases. Then comes ob objectivity. So being impartial and objective are almost same in a way, because objectively means when a person relies only on facts and not on his own biases or his or her own emotions or feelings. Impartiality and objectivity are fiendishly difficult concepts. Fiendishly means extremely difficult concepts that can cause all sorts of injustices even if transparently implemented. It is said that the ability of being balanced, the ability of being logical and balanced, this is a very difficult thing to practice, uh, even if it is even if it is transparently implemented. So that is the first line, right? Now this line, if you can see the line number one, if I can talk it that way, line number one, this line can is talking about impartiality and objectivity. Okay. Now this line can also be the first line of a paragraph, right? This talking, if a paragraph talks about impartiality and objectivity, then basically and it talks about these two aspects, and then it goes on to talk about it. So this first line can also be the first line, right? Because it's talking about that these two concepts are difficult to apply, right? So we don't know, but still we don't know how this happened. All we know is that it is talking about being unbiased, being balanced, something about that, and it is difficult to apply, and even if it is implemented correctly, even if the intentions of applying it are correct and honest. Then comes two, it uh, it in it is referring to, it can refer to Twitter website here, it can refer to something else also, we don't know what it can refer to. So here we have got it, so there's a pronoun here. Pronoun refers to what, we don't know as of now. Let's keep it a green mark, something. It encourages us into bubbles of people we know and like. Immediately we know that Twitter is a website. Twitter and Facebook and other all these social networking platforms, because we are using it, it's not a thing of history. It's a problem. It's a situation which we are observing day in and day out. So we know immediately that it encourages us into bubbles of people we know and like. Without even reading further, we know that 3 is a connection, because 3 says Twitter's website says, right? So we know that 3 and 2 are a pair, right? We know here that 3 and 2 are a pair. Let's see it further. It encourages us into the bubbles of people we know and like, while blinding us to different perspectives. But the deeper problem, so bubbles of people we know and like, and it doesn't allow us to look at other views or other counterpoints. But the deeper problem of transparency, what is transparency? Transparency is a state of being completely honest, clear about ideas and intentions. It says while blinding us to different perspectives, but the deeper problem of transparency lies in the words "and much more." So Twitter does that. We know all the social networking may, if you like certain posts, or on YouTube also, if you like a certain kind of video, or if you watch a certain kind of video, or you subscribe to a certain kind of YouTube channels, you will get you will the algorithm will show you more options of such kind, and will show you such kind of videos a lot. So and it blinds us to other perspectives, other stories, or other way of looking, or other perceptions, other way of looking at a problem. 3 says Twitter website says that tweets you are likely to care about will show up first in your timeline. Let's also see um, also, if you see, one says what? One says that being impartial and being objective, that is being unbiased and being logical, completely based on facts, is difficult even if we are transparent. But here, what they are hinting at, they're hinting into that you're talking about much more here. Talking about much more, I said here. So clearly we know that 2 is taking whatever was said in whatever was said in 3 further, based on accounts you interact with most, tweets you engage with, and much. Then comes 4th. We are only told some of the basic principles. We are only told some of the basic principles, and we can't see the the algorithm itself, making it hard for citizens to believe, making it hard for citizens to I'm here reading 4th once again. We are only told some of the basic principles, and we can't see the algorithm itself, making it hard for citizens to analyze the system sensibly or fairly, or be convinced of its impartiality and objectivity. So when they say that Twitter talks about that only tweets which you care about, only people whom you interact with, they'll come, or they will be shown earlier to you, or they'll pop up in on your page when you open it, or you'll be shown such ideas more and much more. It says that you know, and the deeper problem lies with transparency in saying much more, right? And then full takes it forward. So one starts it, 3 takes the name of one says that even if you are transparent, even then if you want to want to become impartial and objective, it's difficult. 3 says that you are, 3 says what Twitter's idea is of being impartial, and 2 says that you are not only, you are uh, you are not transparent at all. And then it is told here in 4 that we just know the basic principles, we can see the algorithm itself, and it is hard for citizens to uh, analyze the system sensibly or fairly, or be convinced of its impartiality or right. So 1 2 1 3 2 4 sentences labeled 1 2 3 4. Now if you see here, one is there that we have done grammar based connections. How? Twitter's website, and then it referring to Twitter here, and much more is mentioned here, and much more is mentioned here. So 3 and 2 are a pair, and they come one after the other, because it here refers to Twitter's website, to Twitter basically, not to Twitter's website, Twitter. Right? Then comes 9 here. It says, yeah, let's start talking about it. Same, let's read the question first. 4 sentences labeled 1 2 3 4 given in this question, when properly sequenced, form a coherent paragraph. Decide on the proper order for the sentences, and key in this sequence of 4 numbers as your answer. Now the thing is that it says that woodland's canopy receives most of the sunlight that falls on the trees. What is woodland? What is woodland? Woodland is your forest area basically, which has high woods. And so what happens that woodland is, it's a forest basically, it's a proper forest area, and generally it has trees which is slightly taller. So what happens that there is a certain hierarchy of the trees also in the forest, that at the top will be the tallest trees, the canopy, which form the canopy, and there'll be one more layer, one more canopy which will be formed at the at a lesser distance from the earth, from the ground, and that will form the second shade basically. And in between the leaves will sort of form of the tallest trees, and these trees, it will form a sort of a dense uh, dense leafy environment, a lot of greenery and all that stuff. And then below that there'll be these shrubs and herbs, this and then before them, below them, there'll be this grass at the very small plants which are at the very base. So then this way there is a hierarchy. So it says that in a woodlands canopy receives most of the sunlight that falls on the, so the canopy is a top portion. So it receives most of the sunlight that falls on the trees. 2 says, so it's so one is talking about the canopy and the sunlight that falls on trees. That's all. Second says that swifts do not confine themselves to woodlands but hunt wherever there are insects in the air. Remote swifts. Swift are small birds which hunt and they're very agile. They are very in terms of their flexibility, their agility, and their ability to maneuver and make turns and swiftly come up and down. They're very, it's almost like your hummingbird. They that sort of to soar and come down. They don't they and they also go high also in the air. So they are very efficient at that because they eat insects. They don't eat leaves or fruits or anything else. They eat insects. So swifts do not confine themselves to woodlands but hunt wherever there are insects in the air. So somewhere it's talking about that swifts so probably the insects are present on the wood in the woodlands, but wherever there is insects, swift will go and they will attack and eat and hunt for them basically. Third says with their streamlined bodies. Whose streamlined body? Probably swifts, right? Also, don't you think that when they're talking about the forest setup, probably one is a starting line. Also, it is also possible that swift is also referring to somewhere, some other portion somewhere, we don't know. One can be a starting line also. Mostly it can be the starting line. Also, swifts can also refer to this there. Maybe there's a connection between 3 and 2, like it's 3 and 2. With their streamlined bodies, swift are agile flyers, ideally adapted to twisting and turning through the air as they chase flying objects, the creatures that form this stable tact. So now it is talking about that how swifts are doing this. How swifts are, what is the mechanism, explaining a little bit in detail as to the certain special features of their body, of their body structure, and certain capability which they have of twisting and turning through the air and chasing flying insects which form their so maybe that is somewhere related to something here. Okay, let's see how it works out. I'm just marking some important points. How will they connect? I don't know, because till now you can see that we haven't found a proper pair. That's far. But that's okay. Fourth says hundreds and thousands of insects fly into the sunshine up the canopy. Okay, now here woodlands canopy is being referred to. It began by saying the one says woodlands canopy receives most of the sunlight that falls on the trees. Fourth says hundreds and thousands of insects fly in the sunshine up the canopy. Some falling prey to swifts and shallows. So some of these insects, a lot of these insects, they fell prey to swifts and so we know that for sure that 1 and 4, there is a clear cut connection. And also, um, after 4 will come 2. After come will come 3. Reason is that when they first have mentioned that woodland canopy say ऊपर there is a sunlight that falls, then near the sunlight there are thousands of insects which fly in the sunshine up the canopy. Now these insects fall prey to certain birds and called swifts and swallows. Then they say that then this mesh go to mention that with the streamlined bodies, swifts are agile flyers, ideally adapted to twisting and turning through the air as they chase flying insects, the creatures that form their staple diet. So after 4 comes 3. After 3 there is 2. How? Because then 2 says that swifts do not confine themselves to the woodlands, but they hunt wherever they are insects in the air. Also, some of you might argue that why 1 4 3 2? Okay, the answer here. And why not 1 4 2 3? No, why not? Why is this correct? And why is this incorrect? Why is 13 to 3? Okay. So let's read it once more. The woodlands canopy received most of the sunlight that falls on the trees. Okay. Then comes 4. Hundreds and thousands of insects fly in the sunshine up above the canopy, falling prey to swifts and swallows. And if we bring to immediately after 4, it says that swifts do not confine themselves to woodlands, but hunt wherever there are insects in the air. And then we say, with their streamlined bodies, swifts are agile flyers, ideally adapted to turning and twisting through the air as they chase flying insects, the creatures that form their staple diet. Okay. So what happens is that and if we read this way, that first there is 4th, there's hundreds of thousands of insects fly in sunshine up above the canopy, falling prey to swifts and swallows. And then comes 3. With their streamlined bodies, swifts are agile flyers, ideally adapted to twisting, turning through the air as they chase flying insects and creatures that form their staple diet. Then comes through 2 that swifts do not confine themselves to woodlands, but they hunt wherever there are insects in the air. So immediately, so my point is that instead of first telling that they do not confine themselves to woodlands but they hunt elsewhere, right? Idea which will come is that how is it possible? How is it possible? What more information can we give the author and reader about? Also, don't you think that 3 as an information should come earlier than 2, right? when we're saying that two says that woodlands is not the only place where they hunt, but they hunt and elsewhere also. So first what happens that they will tell as to why and how it is happening. We will discuss in three and then comes two. Hence the right answer is 1, 4, 3. I wanted to discuss one more question with you here. This is again a question which came in CAT. This is a ZAT question, sorry, my bad. It came in ZAT a couple of years back. And it's a good question. It's an interesting question. I wanted to discuss with you. So ZAT is a zebra aptitude test, and it's also a very important, very prestigious entrance test. And especially the verbal ability section of it is highly regarded in terms of its accuracy and the kind of questions was asked. So amazing to look at it. It says he might make the opposite mistake. When I want to assign a name to this group of nuts, he might understand it as a numeral. He might make the opposite mistake. Opposite mistake, that means that some other mistake has been mentioned here, right? So we know that line number 1 is not the first. There's something else also here. Okay? It's not the first line. He might make the opposite mistake. When I want to assign a name, so we're assigning names. We might make a person might make the opposite mistake. When I want to assign a name to this group of nuts, he might understand it as a numeral. So when we want to assign a name to the nuts, he might understand it as a numeral. So he might understand that nuts are numerals actually. We don't know. We're talking about naming of a group and misunderstanding them to be numerals. So it is a mistake basically. At which it's not a first mistake, it's an opposite mistake. That means similar mistakes have happened. 2 says, now one can ostensibly define a proper noun, a proper name, the name of color, name of a material, a numeral, the name of a point of compass, and so on. So one can ostensibly define a proper noun, proper name, the name of a color. So ostensibly means apparently, based on the reasons which we can see, based on the outward understanding, or based on the evidence or the facts. Basically, one can ostensibly define a proper noun, name of a color, name of a material, or a numeral of a point of compass, and so on. Then says the definition of number 2, that is called 2, pointing to 2 nuts, is perfectly exact. Is perfectly exact. So if you want to define number 2, we can say that is called 2, and we are referring to 2 nuts is perfectly exact. But how can 2 be defined like that? Yeah, so it's saying that if you have to define 2, if you have to define a name, define a color, how can you do that? So you can point out to, see, same thing they said in 1 also. It was same complication, that if I point out that there are 2 nuts kept, so this is 2, then somebody who doesn't know what is 2, or who is looking for a very accurate definition of 2, might argue that these 2 nuts are 2. Or 2 is the name given to this particular group of nuts. So this is saying that the definition of number 2, that is called 2, pointing to 2 nuts, is perfectly exact. But how can 2 be defined like that? Okay, he may suppose this, but perhaps he does not. So now he's talking about he may suppose this, but perhaps he does not. Then comes 5. The person 1 gives the person 1 gives the definition to doesn't know what one wants to call 2. He will suppose that 2 is a name given to this group of nuts, right? So person might think that the person 1 gives the definition to doesn't know what one wants to call 2. He will suppose that the 2 is a name of this given group. So we can see that first it starts by the first line will be 2 here. Why? Because 2 is talking about that we can define. How can we define a name? We can define an ostensibly from outer we can say okay, but if we really have to do it with means of something, of somebody who doesn't know it, or somebody who wants very exact meaning of definition, how will you do it? So 2 starts with we can ostensibly, from apparently, from outside, we can do that. And then comes 3. That definition of number 2, that is called 2, pointing to 2 nuts, is perfectly exact. But how can 2 be defined like that? 2, 3. Then comes 5. The person 1 gives the definition to doesn't know what one wants to call 2. He will suppose that 2 is the name given to this group of nuts. So 2, 3, 5. Then says 4 says he may suppose this, but perhaps he does not. So 4 says this, that he may suppose this, he may suppose whatever is given 5, but perhaps he does not. And then comes 1, he might make the opposite mistake. Right? When I want to assign a name to this group of nuts, he might understand it as a numeral. So he might make an opposite mistake that when I want to, so since I've called this group of nuts as 2, like that number 2, he might, one mistake is that he may understand that this is a name of this particular 2 is a name of this particular group of nuts. Another mistake he made that whenever if I give a new name to this group of nuts, he may understand that even that name is also a numeral, right? So there it is little philosophical, that for example, if I want to name this pen something, so if I name this pen, if somebody doesn't know what is this, and if I call this a pen, right, that what is a pen, I say that this is a pen. So a person might understand that this pen, which is actually a pen, he might think that that pen is the name of this particular object, right? And if I give any other name, if I say write there's written uniball or I here, then the person will understand that uniball and I can also be name of other things. Right? So this confusion has been summarized. So answer is B. 2, 3, 5, 4, 1. 2 starts with the problem. 3 says that what if we define 2 by pointing to 2 nuts. Then say 5, that a person might call this group of nuts as 2. Then comes 4, he may suppose this, he may make opposite mistake. And then comes 1, that when I want to assign, so it's option number B. And when I want to assign a name to this group, you might understand it as a. Okay, that is pretty much it for now. Three questions for parajumpers. Discuss parajumpers in a very rigorous manner. So, folks, subscribe to Un Academy live classes. You get interact with its educator. You get live polls and leaderboard, test series, and analysis, and you get live doubt clearing sessions as well. Okay. Also, you get a lot of benefits. So, like let's say test series and analysis is very important. Without solving questions, without solving test series, we will not be able to score well. We will not be able to improve our scores. At the same time, you know that there are a lot of free offerings on the Academy app. Install and use it for free. Just install it and just start using it. I also have it on my phone, and you can get a lot of free live classes, and you also get a lot of quizzes. So thank you very much, and you can use the code Saxena10 to get 10% discount.